Well, it's after midnight, so it's now Sunday, but Friday I went grocery shopping and got a bunch of stuff. I was down at Walmart. And where else did I go? I went to a dollar store. I went to the bank and deposited some money. We had a company run by someone Brian went to school with. His family's into this, taking what you have and selling it, auction and all that. And the money made was sent to Brian, put it in his bank. He said he's going to give some to Scott and some to me. And I said, you need to keep it all because of, the dental work and all that. And he goes, no, you got to have some. So he gave me a check and I put it in the bank. Well, it's a good thing I did. Because today I was sitting and I was sewing on this canvas grocery bag, a little bag for life or whatever you want to call it. I need to put handles on it. But I just, thought I'd get another bag because one of my bags ripped and tore and it's useless, so I'm replacing it with this. And I'm just overwhelmed, actually. So today I didn't really need to go anywhere and I didn't really need anything. But something I'd like to have is one of those little hand drills, little Dremel tool. Because I have some woodworking things for Christmas and I wanted to do some fine tuning on it. And I don't really have the tools for it, but a Dremel tool thing, I can do handicrafts and wood carving and all kinds of stuff with it. And they had one with a variable speed foot pedal at Harbor Freight. So I looked it up, and the closest Harbor Freight, of course, it said out of stock. The next closest Harbor Freight said limited stock. And then the next farthest one said in stock. So I went to the one that said limited stock. I went there. They didn't have it. Guy said, I don't know. Somebody must have stole the last one and said we had one. I had to wait to talk to somebody in there. And then I thought, crapola. And I looked on my little GPS thing, and there's 3 ways to get to this next one, which is down in the area where Brian works, which is 22 miles from here. And one way was this big super highway that made a big swerve, and then another one was another highway that went another direction, and then the option that I took was a windy canyon road. It was pretty cool, actually. It was windy and it went up over this mountain thing. It's a small mountain, but still. And I get down to this area where the Harbor Freight's supposed to be, and my GPS said to turn in. So I turned in and I didn't see it. I parked. I happened to see a Goodwill, and I had something in mind to look for a Goodwill. They didn't have anything I could use. So I go back to the car. I found out that on my phone that Harbor Freight was just like several stores down in this strip. I went to start the car and it wouldn't start. It wanted to start, but it couldn't run. I looked under the hood. All the fluids are fine, and I popped into the Napa store. There was a auto parts store real close to where I was parked. And the guy said, let me check your battery. He brings out this little battery tester and hooks it up, and he said, battery's fine. And he goes, it smells kind of like gas. So I'm thinking it's that stupid purge valve that I should have had replaced and didn't, because that allows gas in or out of the engine compartment. And if it's not letting any gas in, the engine's not getting fed. I think that might be what it is. I walked over several stores down into that Harbor Freight because they were in stock apparently, but I looked and I looked and I looked and I had to wait to talk to some guy to help me look. He got the model number and all that, and he looked in the back and all that. No. He said, well, it said that we have one, but I guess someone must have stole it. So that was all for naught, and I was pissed off at myself. Really, really pissed off at myself. Endangering myself in the car and going all the way out of the way for something I was just wanting, you know, and it's not cool. I shouldn't, I shouldn't do that. And then I texted Brian because he was working. He was working till 7, and this time it was like 5:30 or something. I texted him, told him, and he said, well, do what you gotta do, check your insurance for towing. So I called Geico, and I don't have towing. I mean, I could have, but I don't have it. I have basic insurance. So then she said, well, here's some phone numbers, and you might want to call them. So there were 5 different phone numbers, and 2 of them were the out-on calls. We'll get it to you when we get back or whatever. And I thought, oh. One was in another town, probably 15 miles south of there. And he said he could do it for $360. But it'd be about an hour till he got up to me. So I said, okay. And then Brian called me, and we talked a little, and he said, how about Pep Boys? That's a place where you can buy auto parts, and they work on your car too. He says, is there one around? He goes, I looked, and there's one down in Moreno Valley, where you are. He works in Moreno Valley too. And so I looked it up, and it's only like a block and a half up the street. If I happened to be on that side of the street, I could have paid some vagrants to push the car up there. There are plenty of them around. A lot of homeless people. Some guy from Venezuela was hitting me up for money and food. I didn't know how to say it in Venezuelan or Spanish or whatever. He had it on a phone. He had what he wanted translated into English. I didn't know how to say it. Lo is like, I'm sorry. I looked it up on my phone, and then it said, Lo tengo nada? I don't have anything. I have nothing. But I sat there, and I sat there, and I sat there, waiting and waiting and waiting. And then I called the 1-800 Pep Boys, and I got somebody saying, oh, they're going to get someone coming right away. They'll be there by 7. And I thought, great. Because then Brian gets off work, he can pick me up at Pep Boys. If I'm there before 7, they close at 7, then we can tell them what to do, and they can get on it right away in the morning or whatever. Nope. Waited and waited. I called back. I get this Filipino lady that I can hardly understand at all. Please, people, hire people that speak better English. I could hardly understand her. And then she said, I'm getting someone working on it. And she used all kinds of past tense, present tense. I mean, she couldn't speak English. She knew a few words, but that was it. Oh, I'm sitting and waiting, and I look on Facebook, and I say that I'm fucked because the car is dead. And then it's getting dark, and the vagrants come out at night. And in an area I didn't know where anything was. I kept texting Brian back and forth, and so he got off work and he came down, and we looked at the car, and we were talking a little bit, and I get a phone call or a message, something about call me, I can pick you up or something. So I called, and this guy said, I am 5 minutes away. Would you like to have your car towed? Yes, sir. He was the nicest guy. If they have a comment card, I'm going to leave some really good comments for this guy. The nicest guy. Brian and I got in, hit Brian's truck, and he followed us to Pep Boys. We dropped the car off. And then it doesn't cost anything if they work on it at Pep Boys. And it was so close. So, then we came home. We got home by 9:30, I'm thinking. I don't know. Like 4 hours of twiddling my thumbs. I even discovered I can charge my phone. I have some chargey cables that hook into the cigarette lighter. So I did, it was getting lower, so I charged it thinking I better have a phone. You know, if the battery dies in the car, I don't care right now. As long as I have a phone. Frustrating, I'm telling you. It's frustrating. And tomorrow, which is today, Sunday, I wanted to go to the Oktoberfest. I could have gone yesterday, I could have gone Friday night. But I didn't because Brian said he might want to go. And maybe take the baby. Ashley's on call, so I don't know if she would go or not. But it doesn't look like anybody's going to go. This blows. It sucks donkey dick, and it blows goats. Oh, God. Brian said he's off for the next couple days, so I don't know. I really don't know what to do. I have like a week's worth of stuff I was going to cook up. Instead of going and gallivanting, I should have made all these meals for the week. I have a big pot of chili I'm going to make. I have some chicken salad I'm going to make. Some pickled ham. And some ends of bacon to fry up for my bacon reserve. I fry up all this bacon. And the fat I strain it, put it in a jar, and use it for lard. And the bacon, I put in little bags and put it in the freezer, so I could pull out just a few at a, like 10 at a time or something. And use that in 3 or 4 days. I don't know, I just very flustered. I think most people would have been scared. It was getting dark and in an area you don't know. And everything's closed, pretty much everything. And there was a laundromat along there that was open. It's a good thing when I popped into Harbor Freight to look for that thing that I went to the bathroom. Or I would have probably gone behind a bush or something. And when Brian picked me up, he goes, "Oh, I sure have to pee." And I said, "Well, that trash thingy over there, you just stand next to it, pee into the void, I can't do that." I was like, "Oh, okay." I would if I were a guy. I really would. And even being a female, if I really, really had to go, I'd find a bush and squat. And hope no one saw me. And if someone saw me, I don't care. Oh, Kitty Cat was a good boy. He's on his perch up there. He'll probably be pouncing around on me when I lay down in bed. Oh my God. What a sucky afternoon, evening. Poor Brian. He had worked a 12-hour shift. It was a really day from hell for him, and to have to go through all this other stuff too. It's not fair. He gets tomorrow off. Oh, that's right. Usually he has to work on Monday, but I think he's taking Monday off. Oh, I'm just so flustered. I better go to bed. I'm going to take a real quick shower, or at least wash my feet. Yeah, I've got plenty of stuff to do. There's stuff I've been meaning to do for a long time on the computer, and of course that closet door. I should write a book about ways to procrastinate. but I've been putting it off. Upward and onward.